In the middle of World War II, the most dangerous battles did not always involve tanks, aircraft, or artillery. Some were fought in hallways, stairwells, quiet rooms where noise itself could decide life or death. In Washington, power moved loudly. Phones rang. Typewriters clattered. Advisors argued. Yet within this chaos, American intelligence faced a paradox. How do you fight a global war without being heard at all? This question would give birth to one of the most unusual weapons of the 20th century, the high Standard HDM. A pistol designed not for the battlefield, but for the spaces between gunfire, a problem without a BOUPR, anted by the early 1940s. The United States had entered a kind of warfare it was not fully prepared for. The newly formed Office of Strategic Services was tasked with missions. Traditional armies were never built to handle sabotage behind enemy lines, assassinations carried out in occupied cities, an intelligence collection where discovery meant execution. These operatives needed to remove obstacles quietly, not heroically, not dramatically, silently. Existing firearms failed this test. Suppressors of the era reduced blast, but they could not erase it. Slides slammed. Springs snapped. Brass clattered against stone floors. In controlled environments, even small sounds traveled farther than expected. The problem wasn't marksmanship. It was physics. Every gunshot announces itself in multiple ways: expanding gases, projectile velocity, and mechanical movement. Eliminating just one wasn't enough. For covert work, all three had to be controlled at once. Why quiet is harder than IT sounds a modern audience. Might assume silence is achieved by simply attaching a device to a barrel. In reality, suppressing a firearm is closer to acoustic engineering than gunsmithing. The projectile must stay below the speed of sound. The gases must be cooled and slowed before they escape. And the weapon itself must resist its own mechanical instincts to cycle violently. This was where most designs failed. The British. Solution: the bolt action. Welrod solved the noise problem by removing semi-automation entirely. It worked, but at a cost. Follow-up shots were slow. Reloading was deliberate. In fluid, unpredictable situations, speed mattered just as much as silence. American planners wanted something different, a weapon that could stay quiet and react instantly. And likely PART and RSIGP to solve the problem. The OSS looked beyond traditional arms manufacturers. High-standard manufacturing had the pistol platform accurate, reliable, and already proven in training roles. But suppression expertise came from a place few would. Expect Bell Telephone Laboratories. Bell Labs was not a weapons company. It was an acoustics powerhouse. For decades, engineers had studied how sound behaves, how it reflects, dissipates, and interferes with itself. The same principles used to clarify voices across continents could be repurposed to confuse, trap, and weaken explosive noise at its source. What emerged was not an accessory, but a system. Engineering silency at the high standard HDM was not a pistol with a suppressor attached. It was a single integrated unit designed from the inside out. The barrel was modified to vent gases early, before they could escape violently. These gases were redirected into a sealed housing where layered materials absorbed heat and disrupted pressure waves. Sound energy was not blocked. It was exhausted slowly. Robbed of its force, but the most important innovation addressed the loudest enemy of all, the pistol itself. A slide-locking mechanism allowed the operator to fire without the weapon cycling. No movement. No ejection. No metallic impact. In this configuration, the pistol behaved more like a precision instrument than a firearm. Training manuals emphasized restraint, one shot, control, deliberate movement. This design choice revealed something deeper about OSS doctrine. Silence was not about invisibility. It was about control under pressure. Training for the SHRDOWSAT. Secluded training sites. Agents learned to treat firearms differently. Accuracy mattered, but speed and instinct mattered more, rather than traditional sight alignment. Instructors emphasized body mechanics and spatial awareness. Operatives learned to fire while moving, to to react without hesitation, and to place rounds precisely under stress. The HDM fit this philosophy perfectly. Within close distances, its small caliber was not a weakness. It was a tool optimized for precision. The weapon was not intended for prolonged combat. It was built for moments when noise would multiply consequences. Deployment, without RECRDs, because of the classified nature of OSS operations. The HDM's combat history survives only in fragments. Weapons were distributed across Europe and Asia. Resistance groups received them quietly. Intelligence teams carried them as contingency tools rather than primary arms. What is clear is that the pistol earned trust not through reputation, but through performance. It did what it was designed to do, without drawing attention. That reliability extended beyond the war, second life in a different WIR. When global conflict shifted from open battlefields to ideological standoffs, the HDM remained relevant during the Cold War. Intelligence work demanded discretion at a new level. Surveillance, escape scenarios, and deniable operations all benefited from a weapon that favored silence over spectacle, the pistol's presence in later. Intelligence missions well into the jet age revealed something rare, a design that aged without becoming obsolete. What the original story missed, one critical detail is often overlooked in discussions of the HDM logistics. The suppressor's internal components degraded with use. This forced agencies to treat the weapon as a consumable system, not a permanent asset. Maintenance, replacement, and careful inventory control became part of its operational footprint. This limitation was not a flaw. It was an acknowledgement of reality. The HDM was built for decisive moments, not sustained firefights. Understanding this reframes the weapon entirely. It was not meant to dominate. It was meant to disappear. Legacy of a quiet Arrivio UTO in the Standard HDM did not reshape warfare through numbers or firepower. Its influence was architectural, integral suppression, gas management, and system-level noise control became standard concepts in later designs. Modern suppressed pistols owe more to this early experiment than most realize. Perhaps its greatest contribution was philosophical. The HDM proved that effectiveness in warfare is not measured solely by destruction, but by restraint. Some weapons change history by being loud, others do it by not being heard at all.